Do you know that one person when something goes wrong, a flat tire, a leaky basement, a check engine light, they just take a breath, look at it, and then they start figuring it out. They don't panic, they don't freeze, they just go. And you're standing right next to them wondering why your brain went to full panic mode. Here's the thing. It's not because they're smarter, it's not because they're braver. Your brain is really old. Not your brain specifically, but the design. The basic wiring inside your skull was built over hundreds of thousands of years, and its number one job, the only job that it cares about, is keeping you alive. So when something goes wrong, your brain doesn't think, not at first. It reacts. It asks one very simple question. Can I do something about this, or should I run? Now think about the person who tries to fix something small, maybe jiggle a cord on the TV and it comes back on. Something happens in this person's brain at that moment, something important. The brain doesn't just think, hey, cool, the car started. The brain thinks something much bigger than that. I did that. I tried something and it worked. Problems are a thing I can fix. A scientist named Albert Bandura studied this. He called these moments mastery experiences. And he found that they are the most powerful way a person builds the belief that they can handle things. Not by being told you're capable, not by watching someone else do it, actually doing it yourself. That's the thing that changes you. When that happens, your brain gets an update. It starts to sort broken things into different categories, not danger, but more like a puzzle. Puzzles don't make you panic. Puzzles make you want to solve them. There's another piece to this. Psychologist Julian Rotter studied how much people think about cause and effect. Some people believe that what they do changes what happens. If I try, it matters, it works, it moves. Other people feel like things just happen to them, like the world is a pinball machine and they're the ball. The first group handles stress better. They bounce back faster, they don't give up as quickly. And this makes total sense when you think about it, where we came from. Way back in early human history, the people who believed their effort mattered were the ones who kept trying. The ones who found food, the ones who built shelter, the ones that figured out the problems. The ones who thought nothing they did mattered, they stopped trying. And back then, when you stopped trying, that was very bad news. And this is what surprises most people. The calm person standing next to you, they're not sure if everything's going to be okay. They feel the same uncertainty you feel. What's different is what their brain does with that feeling. Think of it like a smoke detector. Some smoke detectors are so sensitive they go off when you make toast. Others only go off when there's an actual fire. A person who freezes when things break have a very sensitive detector. The brain hears, I don't know what's happening, and treats it the same as I'm in danger right now. So it panics. It needs an answer immediately. It needs to know everything is going to be okay right now. And when it can't get that, it shuts down. The fixer's detector is calibrated. The brain hears, I don't know what's happening, and thinks, okay, I don't have enough information yet. That's it, not dangerous, just incomplete. They learn somewhere along the way that not knowing is just the beginning of figuring something out, not the end of everything. So there's two different kind of fixers, and they look the exact same from the outside. The first kind fixes things because somewhere early in life, being helpless felt genuinely dangerous. Maybe getting things wrong meant getting in trouble. Maybe they felt like they would be more valuable the more useful they were. So the brain made a decision. I will never be the one who can't handle it. It's very hard for that person to relax when something nearby is broken. They hover, they take control. They need it to be fixed, not just for your sake, but because an unsolved problem in their world feels like a fire alarm going off inside their head. It's not really confidence. That's just that ancient fear wiring in their brain. I gotta do it or things will be bad. The second kind is different. This person fixes things because broken things are genuinely fascinating to them. They'll take something apart they've already fixed just to understand it better. They'll explain exactly what went wrong with way more detail than anyone needed. And they'll be smiling while they do it. They're not calm because they're suppressing something. They're calm because their brain actually finds this interesting. Back in early human history, every group had people like this. The ones that wandered a little farther to see what was over the hill, who tried the new thing, who figured out the better way. They took more risk, but it paid off for everybody. Everyone benefited. Being around people like that changes something in you. Not because they'll fix your stuff, because they show you that not knowing how to do something is just a temporary situation. So where does that leave you? Maybe you recognize yourself as the fixer. Maybe you recognize yourself as one of those who backs away and slowly hopes someone else will handle it. Neither one is a flaw. Both are patterns that your brain picked up somewhere. Patterns that made sense in the situation that created them. Here's the good news, and this is what science keeps coming back to. The pattern can change. not just by understanding it. Understanding is a start, but it isn't enough on its own. The brain updates the same way it always has, through experience, through small moments of I tried and it actually worked. Not a big heroic flex, not a total transformation, something small. You tightened a screw, you made the call, you stayed in the room instead of walking out. And somewhere in your brain, something quietly shifts. The world gets a tiny bit more like something you can fix. That's where it starts.